Hi, I'm the Reverend Pam Hyde, and I'm the Canon for Creation Care for the Episcopal Diocese of Arizona. But before I was the Canon for Creation Care, and before I was even an Episcopal priest, I worked for environmental nonprofit organizations here in Arizona. And about 15 years ago, I was working for a small nonprofit in Flagstaff, and I had a pretty extraordinary experience. Now, the work for this small nonprofit was hard work, it was long hours, it was pretty stressful, and I needed times when I could just get rid of all that stress. And so I'd go hiking, and I'd go out and I'd hike hard and just let the whole natural world melt all that stress away from me. So one day when I had had a particularly stressful day and I was having some problems with some personal relationships and life was kind of hard, I just needed to get out. I needed to get out and go hiking. So I hit my favorite trail and I was out for a hard hike just to kind of get it all out. And I started down my favorite trail and was hiking along through the forest. And then all of a sudden, there was this flash of blue that came past me. And I thought to myself, whoa, what was that? And I thought, well, it must have been a bird. But I didn't see it. So I kept hiking. And then all of a sudden, a couple seconds later, another flash of blue came by. And I thought, wow, I got to see what that is. So I looked around and I looked up in a tree, and sure enough, it was a bird. And it was a bluebird. I thought, well, we don't have bluebirds in Arizona, but it must have been a bluebird, I thought to myself. So I kept hiking, and all of a sudden, here were these bluebirds kind of following with me. They would leapfrog me. There was one behind me that would fly forward, and then I would hike up and another one would fly forward again, and they were flying alongside of me sometimes. And it was like they were accompanying me on my journey. And I was just transfixed. And they followed me and they flew with me, leapfrogging me until my trail snaked out of the woods into a meadow. And I kept going and they stayed behind in the forest. And it was just amazing. And when I got home later that day, I called some of my birding friends and I said, I think I saw bluebirds today, but we don't have bluebirds in Arizona, do we? And they said, oh yeah. They said, this time of year, western bluebirds, you'll see flocks of them in Arizona. So you're kind of lucky, not everybody sees them. So I thought, wow, how fortunate was I? And then the next day, another tough day, rough day, things not going well. So I went out for a hike again and I thought, well, it'll be a good hike, but I won't see the bluebirds. That was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So I started down this trail again, and all of a sudden there they were. The bluebirds were back. And they did the same thing. They flew along with me. They leapfrogged me. It was almost as if they were playing with me and just helping me to let my cares just melt away. And so we've hiked together and flew. They flew with me and I hiked until I left the forest and they stayed behind. And I just was just overwhelmed with happiness and with joy. And the next day I went out and there they were again. And the next day I went out and there they were again. For 5 days I hiked, and for 5 days the bluebirds came with me. And it was just an amazing and transforming experience. It was as if in creation, in these bluebirds, love was made visible. I go out in the forest to hike. I go out in the desert to hike because creation is something fantastic and uplifting for me. This experience with the bluebirds just filled my soul with joy. And this is what the earth can do for us. Bluebirds are an amazing gift, a blessing from God, a blessing of creation that I took into my heart and that I will never forget. So this is a time in our lives now where creation can be so helpful, where the earth can heal, where we can use the earth, we can use the experiences that the earth gives us to lift us up. So in these times that are awkward and strange and uncertain and stressful, Let's take a moment to remember that creation is steady, it's steadfast, that we're connected with it. Let's take care of each other in this time. Let's take care of the earth, and let's let the earth take care of us.